Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Sabado Session Podcast. This is one of our Sheffield series episode. Today we have got Evie Corrigan on the episode. How are you doing, Evie?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. How's training going?
Yeah, it's actually going really well. It's sort of like the easy part now, the training, with all the dieting and stuff. So training's just trucking along. My strength seems to be holding in there. Can't really ask for more.
I think I'm gonna go straight to it, right? You posted 195 deadlift today, a decent bench, and an okay squat. And you said, I swear I have not been hiding my training. This is what the hell is going on with you? How can
It's
you
lucky that I posted something, right? Or we wouldn't have anything to talk about.
We've got loads. I mean, we've got that massive 57 kg meet you did where you bought 210.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that, but all I'm like, you posting saying I have not been hiding my training. What's been happening in your life in terms of like you posting one and then you're gonna come back again and be just the day before Sheffield and posting your top single?
Yeah, probably, to be honest. I don't know, like when I start a block of training, I just think like, oh, it's pretty light, like no one really cares to see it, so I won't bother to post it, which is probably not true, but I'm like, ah, it's fine, no one, and I'm like, no one wants to see rep work, so I won't post the rep work either. I'll only ever post the singles. So then it just means that I don't post for like weeks, and then I was like, oh yeah, this is decently heavy, I can probably post this.
Have
Or
you
I
not
should
felt like
probably
have you
post
not
it.
felt compelled to post more since Sheffield? Or have you been has it had the opposite effect where you're like, you know what, F these guys, they'll see me again on the big stage?
I think I've felt compelled to post more about other things, but not necessarily my training. Like for a bit there, I had a good stint of making content, covering topics that I was like, I felt that, stuff that I wanted people to know about. Um, I don't know, maybe, yeah, I just don't care for posting training that much.
Is the internet that bad in New Zealand? It's just, you've actually been posting, but you've only managed to do one since Sheffield because of the bandwidth.
Oh, okay.
I'm sending them out there and they're just not
They're
getting
uploading.
picked up.
None of them landed.
I mean, yeah, Vivi, yeah, in terms of like Indy mentioned there about Sheffield because you won Sheffield, right? So and you won Sheffield in a manner that shook the world because no one was expecting Evie to come in and drop weight and win it. Do you know what I mean? So big names were out there in terms of like some of us were picking, oh, this person will win it, this person, that person will win it. But you just came out of nowhere, you and Jason. I hate Jason for lying to me. He didn't tell me that you dropped weight. But anyway, you done a fantastic job. You did it and won it. You broke a few world record, the one that more couldn't do, but you did it. So
You know what? Yeah, Durans, if we compare her bench to your bench, it's not like the stats are not looking
Well,
good.
we're not talking about bench here. We're talking about your final deadlift.
podcast. That's why we don't invite bench only lifters in this podcast because we don't talk about. But anyway, even what impact has Sheffield has had into, I mean, not just your lifting, but your life in general? Because now you are the superstar. What I mean, the superstar, I know people will have their argument and will say, we'll talk about the biggest stars in powerlifting, they will be throwing names. But to us in this podcast, the biggest female star in powerlifting is you. You've won world, you've won Sheffield.
I bet you say that to everyone that comes onto your podcast.
No,
Nah, not at all. Yeah,
no,
Actually,
Durans was
don't. I
fighting
have to back
Delaney
Durans. I don't
for
think he has.
ages.
never.
He told Delaney when he came on, yeah, I'm the strongest 83 in the world, and I'm gonna break the world record. Hopefully.
Okay, so I don't care about people. I only literally like you are the biggest powerlifting star in the female side when it comes to this sport. What does Sheffield has done to you in terms of like you winning it and then the year has passed by?
I think like there's a few things, right? Like there's so much more attention now on me, and I guess that could be more pressure. particularly going into next year. I think also it's sort of changed my perspective of the sport a bit. And I'm like, okay, this is something I need to take really seriously. Like, it's not really just a hobby anymore. It's kind of like not a job, but getting there, getting in that, like, heading in that direction. I can make, yeah, I can make some kind of income off of this, and I need to be really, yeah, I guess like put more of myself into it so that I can continue that way.
So
Hopefully that answered your whole question.
I guess you have to be smarter as well, don't you?
Yeah.
In terms of like not coming out for your last pull at Worlds, for example. Obviously, trend setting now. Other people are doing it. Dropping weight cut. Other people are doing it. So you're setting trends. That's fine, but like that would annoy me. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like being a heavy puller to like not pull my third, if that makes sense, because I'm thinking, wait a second, that will impact how much money I can make at Sheffield and stuff like that. Is that always in the back of your mind now when you're going into meets? And
I mean, it's not, thankfully that is Jason. Like he's all over that. He's the strategy guy, and I just do what I'm told. It definitely, yeah, like it's sort of, I felt like the meet in Christchurch, so that was our nationals, because there was nothing riding on that. That was a fun meet where I could just do whatever I wanted to do, and I could try and just hit big numbers. And then once that was over, I was almost a little bit disappointed that we didn't push it more, because I knew that maybe I wouldn't get that opportunity again, because we're always having to be really strategic with the numbers and really cautious about not taking big risks, making sure that we get just the right numbers to be able to win, or to get that invitation, or whatever the goal is. Like, it's so much more strategic now that I can't just go out and like lift as heavy as possible, because that's no longer the only goal, which is so strange, because that's the whole point of powerlifting. But it's really changed the game.
So would you say, look, I know I'm jumping too far here. When you say you can't just go and lift heavy, would you say if Sheffield, for instance, come to the point where you don't have to go loud to win, so would you hold back?
Yeah, probably.
See, this is guys, this is the only sensible lifter I've ever spoken to in my life.
yeah, because we said to Mo going into Sheffield, right? We're like, just take it easy on the squat and stuff, and then really launch the deadlift. It's £5,000. You can just take it. And Mo went, say no more. Put his foot down on everything.
Right. Let's not relieve bad history. Evie, I have a very interesting question for you, right? Because I don't think I've actually heard anyone ask you this yet. So once the paycheck from SBD, I want a live reenaction, everything. You've mentioned like powerlifting can now become a source of income, like almost a job, really, because you're a Sheffield winner. It's basically a job at this point. That's almost the average salary in the UK. When that dropped into your account, what did you think in that moment? The paycheck from SBD.
It's just like surreal, to be honest, because I've never received that much money like in one go. And I mean, yeah, it's more than I earn in a year in New Zealand. So I was like, this doesn't even feel real. It's just numbers on a screen, right? Because like you're just looking at your bank account being like, how is that even possible? And then just trying to work out like what to do from there.
Quit your job.
Like, yeah, I was like, do I go on a big like shopping spree? But I'm far too sensible for that. I put it all in like a term deposit.
Did you get
at
like,
least
did your
£1,000
bank call
chocolate
you
or something?
No, they didn't. They didn't.
That's so weird.
No. Right, yeah. So maybe they'll like look into it later on and be like, this is suspicious. Suspicious activity.
Who's this SBD bloke? Why is he paying you for Sheffield?
Yeah.
Because since you start talking about finance, how many money, guys? So do you when people receive that kind of check, right, from SBD, do you guys in New Zealand pay checks? SBD is not here, the only dodgy guy here, so it's fine. So do you guys actually pay tax on it?
It's sort of a it's kind of complicated. So they took tax on it in the UK, and then you can like apply to get that tax given back in New Zealand. But I also don't know if I get taxed on it in New Zealand or not, because there's like a gray area around what counts as a professional athlete. If you're a professional athlete, you get taxed like 33% or something. So yeah, it's quite so far, no, it's the tax has been paid in the UK. And I've yet to work out what I'm supposed to do.
You probably paid
Any
more in
accountants,
tax, right, than Mo made from Sheffield.
Right.
No,
Also, I was gonna. I was also gonna say, because I know I was Amanda was on my team and her mom was actually asking the same question. But I know like it's weird. So if your sport is classified as a hobby in the UK, you actually don't pay any tax on your earnings. But I guess SBD would have tried their best to protect themselves as a business and sending the money over, but also make sure that you get the most amount. And I don't know, hopefully you figure it out. We've got Durance who's an accountant. He works for some scammy industry, so he'll sort you out, help you,
you
get
get
money.
them. You get them Gmails in about from a Nigerian prince or Congolese prince about some money in your. That's Durance. That's how he get. That's how he funds his Peloton addiction.
Look, I know my job is 80% NDA. I can't talk about it, but it's not as coming. Jesus Christ. But anyway, never mind. Evie, so yeah, let's bring us back into powerlifting, not about the money, because I know every time I think about how much you won at Sheffield, it gives me a headache. But I never thought powerlifting will get to the level where people are actually winning this amount of money. So one thing is like, as athletes, as powerlifters, we sometimes we're taking it for granted where the sport was yesterday and where the sport is today. You mentioned there, this could actually potentially be some sort of a source of income. No one will ever think as a powerlifting will become that way. So yeah, just to say out there, anyone who's listening, may start doing your squat and bench and deadlift to come standard and get serious. You can earn some money. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, the World Championship. Now let's talk about a little bit of the World Championship. So this is not a recap, but I just want to pick your brain in terms of like your training leading to the World Championship, because you were going up against Naomi. Naomi, I've said this on this podcast. I'm gonna have her here. She's like a bloody bulldog, right? When she's angry, literally, like you almost. Look, she's a small woman, but every time she get on the platform, I'm watching her, I get petrified. I'm thinking like, fucking hell, I don't want to go up against her. So how did you prep for that? Because you knew in Malta she was coming for you. After what happened in Sheffield, she was coming for you. She was ready for that. So how did you prep yourself, you and Jason, leading to that?
Yeah, I agree with you. She is like a small aggressive dog, and I am also scared of her. But I think like it was funny at Worlds because you've just got so many more people. There was so many more lifters in our flight that it was almost easier to like distract myself from the fact that we were going head to head. Like she was way over one other side of the room and I was in another corner with like, I think we were with the Canadians, and yeah, and there was so many like really lovely, friendly lifters coming up to me. So that helped on the day. In terms of the preparation before, like I just really stay out of it. Like I don't follow anything on social media. I try not to listen to anything. I don't want to look at her training. It just doesn't help me. Like even if it wouldn't matter what she was even posting, just like it psychs me out, so I just stay away from it. I think there was one, like, someone had, like, I think one of her supporters had shared something on his story. Maybe it was her deadlift, and I think he tagged me in it and it was in French, so I don't know what it said, but it said, someone translated it and said, oh, it says, like, she's coming for you, and then he tagged me, and that sent me into like a spiral of panic for like 24 hours. Then I was like, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's like one deadlift.
Did he also get tagged a lot in the from the Asian Championships? Farida, who pulled 208 kilos.
Was there a two or
Yeah,
three?
no one tagged me in that.
Oh, really? For some
But-
reason, I saw a lot of people mentioning the stories, but I thought you'd have been tagged a lot for it.
Oh, maybe they didn't tag me directly, or I just didn't see it. I don't know.
She put 203. Basically, she put the same number that Evie came in and say, "Hello guys, bye bye." So yeah, so basically she pulled. So Evie, of course, Evie did not put that number, but this girl came in to put it for real. So Evie was just playing as an actor. So yeah.
Yeah, but she pulled what? You pulled 210, didn't you?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's still
So
far ahead.
it's
Yeah.
fine. Like, just yeah.
Like to me, like again, you went to Malta and you told the 460, right? I got a question of that 460. 460 is the world record at the 57. Was it intended for you and Jason to go and match the world record and just sort the last lift, or was it more about we going to Malta to win? Doesn't matter how much we win for. If Naomi push her to 470, we're gonna get 470. So why did you guys just match that world record?
The plan was always to win, because we knew that if Noemi came first, she'd get that automatic invite to Sheffield. And so in an attempt to kind of like secure myself as the only 52 to be invited to next year's Sheffield, the plan was win with as little as needed, basically. Like if it could be under the world record, then like that was fine. Like whatever it was going to take just for me to beat her, then that's where we were going to go. So yeah, I think just by coincidence, it ended up being bang on the world record, which was like perfect, because we wouldn't have wanted to go over it. Obviously, that's why I didn't take my last deadlift. But again, strategy.
To me, this is the scary part, right? When people look at you and look at Naomi and look at the other 52 in the world, is you match the world record but not taking your last deadlift, and even some of your lifts they were like RPEs. I'm not a fan of RPEs, but they were out on RPEs like 8 or 9, right? So how scary that is, even to yourself, thinking I've just matched the world record by missing my last deadlift. In your mind,
she's gotten stronger.
You know, I'm just like yourself in your head. What must be going on in your head? Thinking, hang on, I didn't even try hard, but I'm here.
Collins didn't even try hard. Evie, did you try hard?
I think, yeah. To be fair, that's not, because I've seen a post from Evie where you did a breakdown of your amount of time you spent powerlifting. And it was like 10 to 12 hours powerlifting, and then 2 hours with soft tissue massage every single day, 2 hours feedback with the coach. So you do work hard. Ignore Jones.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, though.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, and I get ripped out for this at the gym.
No,
like I'm known in the gym as being the undershooter. Like I will just chronically undershoot things. I don't like to work hard when it comes to lifting.
When I say you didn't work, I didn't mean that you don't work. I'm saying on that platform, you didn't fucking try hard. Shit, you did not try.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I'm not offended.
You match the world record. What must be going on in your mind? Thinking like in terms of like, what about if you're pushed? Are you not scared about what you could be capable of doing?
I feel like the time that I've been working with Jason, we have been quite conservative, and like we haven't been in a position where I've had to. I mean, I think Sheffield we would have pushed more, but we didn't know how well I was going to recover from the cut. So we were a bit more conservative with those attempts. And as it turned out, like I might have had a little bit more in some of them. I didn't have to work as hard. You know, I wasn't grinding out my third attempts. So that was a surprise. But I think since then, we haven't been in a position where we've really had to push really hard. And it would be interesting to see. And it would be, I guess, fun to like have that challenge, because I would like to know what I'm capable of, particularly with the deadlift, because we don't get to push that in training. You know, like it never goes as well in training as it does in competition. Like once I'm tapered, I get so much out of that taper. Like when I'm fully recovered and I come into comp, I get like 10 kilos on the deadlift, 5 kilos on my squat. And
Yeah, Juris doesn't know about that.
Anyway, carry on.
He's a gym lifter only. Explain to Jurins how that works.
What do you mean?
Just to give you some reference, we love Durin to death, right? But there was a week during training, Durin squatted over 300 3 times in a week. So I'm saying Monday he squatted over 300, Wednesday he squatted over 300, Friday or Saturday he squatted over 300 kilos. On competition day, Durin squats below 300.
Anyway,
It's like, that was a drill. Try again.
anyway.
Something's not working in
Yeah.
the taper.
I know, we were trying to explain that to Jurins, but it's not really going through.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Anyway, Evie, carry on. It's not about me. I've never been to Sheffield. It's about you. Go on.
Yeah, so I think, and then at nationals in August, that was like, yeah, we're gonna push it, and 210 seemed like definitely the upper limit. Like we weren't gonna go more than 210 for the final deadlift. And then I did it and I was like, shit, we should have gone more than 210. Because that was the opportunity to push it, and that was as far as we pushed it. And I was like, maybe we should have loaded 215 up out back and see. Yeah, I felt a little bit like bummed that we didn't get to really like see where the ceiling is, because yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure
Next nationals then? Next nationals? Because that's going to be your... It's weird to think, right? And this is a fucking piss take, Evie, okay? Is your fun meet is your nationals. That's a joke, you know. Everyone else is stressing, I need to win, I need to come first at nationals, and Evie's like, yeah, it was a fun meet, it was really nice, I had a lovely time. I'm like, what the fuck? Jonas is crying, Mo's crying, I'm crying, and Espin refused to come on.
Yeah, it is a piss take.
What Indy said, how does that make you feel for your national to be your fun meet? Because not everybody have that privilege. Not everybody. I guess for a Sheffield winner probably could be, isn't it? Same thing like Jesus. His national will be his fun meet.
Yeah. I think it has to be that way, right? Because like if you're gonna do, how many comps are you reasonably gonna do in a year? If one of those is the biggest competition there has ever been, Sheffield, like the highest level you can possibly get to, and then the second one is Worlds, which is, you know, was the highest level you could ever get to, then at some point you gotta treat one of them as like the walk in the park, or just the
World Games,
know, like...
you know, just waltz into World Games, have a fun meet, win, it's good times.
You just admit there, World was a walk in the park for you. So when I was saying you did not try hard on that platform in Malta, when Naomi wanted to kill herself to beat you, you just literally walked in the park. You just admitted it right there. Damn. Yeah. I'm scared of you.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be getting
Worlds was surprisingly chill, which is like such... I still can't wrap my head around that one, because I think like how many years I would have been like pining after a world title, you know, like that would have been just the biggest achievement ever. But then after Sheffield, it just didn't feel the same. It didn't feel as big. It felt it was a little bit anticlimactic, to be honest.
Wow. I'm gonna translate all of this to Naomi, you know. But anyway.
How are you gonna do that?
Oh, I speak French, mate. I will
you can just about speak English. If you speak French like you speak English, Evie, you're good.
Oh no.
Fine.
Who knows what's
they'll just be like, je suis une baguette. That's it, done.
It's better than my English.
Lost in translation.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I have a quick question, very quick question, right? Because I remember you didn't get a lot of interviews in the lead up of Sheffield. Like KLTL didn't really do an interview, you know. So I wanted to know how that made you feel, in the sense of like you had the secret you were keeping, where every preview you had basically said Evie's turning up to just have fun, you know. It was 12th place EV. That was the only recap he got, well and truly. And then afterwards, I wanted so I also heard a podcast you did after Sheffield, and you talked about the fact that going down to the 52s was a bit tough because you've always wanted to progress your total, right? Because you were in the 57, you've done 471, I believe that's your biggest total so far, to be exact. And you said it felt a bit weird where you won Sheffield, but you'd reduced your total. Like you felt like you'd gone backwards, but you'd made more progress than you've ever made in your career in powerlifting. Now that your strength levels are increasing, you've done a 210 deadlift, you've done a 105 bench, right? Your squat seems to be trending right in the good positive direction. How are you feeling that you might potentially beat your best 57 career total if you need as a 52 now?
I'm also revoking your "I'm the data man" thing because her best total is 476. You just dropped 5 kg off her total.
Apologies, 476.
Yeah, how dare you? Anyway, carry on, Evie.
Yeah, I think that like I can see that happening. We're closing in on my best total being as a 52. Like, yeah, regardless of weight class. I still think about what about when I go back up, because, you know, surely I'm going to be stronger once I move back to 57s. And that is a when, not an if. So I look forward to that day. And I think still, although with deadlift and bench now, I'm hitting numbers that I never hit as a 57, my squat is still lagging a bit. And like, I've not had a squat PB since. So it's been a few years. So that's, and it's a funny one that like those numbers don't really become scary when you're just doing the same thing over and over again. Yeah.
Fair enough.
But the first part of your question was about the
how did you feel doing the previews and everything where everyone kept on saying you were going to be 12th place and everything?
I think like I didn't blame them because like based on the data that people had, they were right. Like if I'd gone in as a 57, I would have placed 12. I think afterwards I enjoyed like how shocked everyone was, and I enjoyed like the drama of it, like the biggest upset of powerlifting history. I still wonder, and I think maybe this is more me than it is like other people saying this, but I wonder if people think like, oh, you know, it was just a fluke. Like she went in and like cut weight and like that's how she won. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I almost have to earn it.
I think
proving that I'm strong enough.
Just do the reverse. Do the reverse. This time, don't tell
anyone.
Go up and
win.
But go up and win.
The thing,
just screw them all. Just be like, fuck you. Here you go.
I mean, it can't be a fluke again. I'll go back again what you said earlier from your mouth. You did admit there, walking to Malta, having a chill day. Do you know what I mean? So that can't be a fluke. I mean,
that's such a joke. Sorry, but that's such a joke.
You know what I mean? In Malta, there were people literally like that spilled blood and sweat on that platform, and there's Evie coming and was like, "You're right, guys. I'm gonna watch." Like RBA, do you know what I mean? That cannot be a fluke. So anyway, so moving on to what Mo said in terms of like your numbers in the 52s, probably after Sheffield this year will be more than what you've done in the 57, and you wonder if going back to the 57, how would you be? So that's you literally like firing shots to Jed, Jacob, Natalie, Richard, and Joy. So anyway, I'm just trying to make a story for you right there, because that's why you said yourself. You probably couldn't say, but you're just telling these ladies, "I'm coming." So you're not.
I need time though. There's time, you know.
She's not saying I'm coming. She's like, I'm here. There's a difference.
I mean,
dropping hints.
Your national, you hit you hit 484 at 55.2 kilo body weight, right? That is that. I mean, knowing Kedrick, that's nothing. When you're cutting down your normal 52, that's nothing.
And so that was also an afternoon weigh-in, right? So I competed in like the evening session. So that morning I weighed like 54.7.
So I'm not trying to I'm not trying to bring your plan for Sheffield, but the 484 here on the Sheffield platform in 2024, the story, the narrative will change again. Do you know what I mean? Because at the moment, people are thinking, oh, what Evie did last year, we don't think she can replicate the same thing, come and win. You've been hearing it across. I'm not the first person that said it. I'm not saying it because I've been saying behind your back. No, I'm just repeating what the media's been saying. How do you feel about it? Is this something you're saying, like thinking like, oh, keep on talking like that, you fuckers? I'm gonna prove you wrong. Or is this something you're thinking like, yeah, it's gonna be hard, but I'm gonna try my best? Let's be honest.
I think I'm in a better position than I was this year because I've been at this body weight now. I know I can get there. We've already done it. I've made it down. I've had successful meets. Obviously there's like nationals to show as well. Like, I'm not injured. I was injured leading into Sheffield. I was having lots of issues with my hip and my back. I'm healthy. So I don't know. I guess like I can understand why people would be like, surely she can't put the same amount, you know, percentage wise on the total again. But I think that the evidence is there that I can, if
Basically,
I
what she's
need
saying
to.
is, watch this shit happen, bitches, is what she's saying. But in a nice way.
So I mean, I think Evie, on that note, I will see you at Sheffield in 2025 because I know anyone that wins Sheffield has got the first invite, isn't it, to the next one. So I'll see you in 2025. Anyway,
I had a quick question for you boys though, and Evie also.
Yeah.
I want to say on my like looking at the lineup, the two people I think they're most likely to win it are you and Agatha, and both of you are have now been known to cut down a weight class. You know, Agatha is going back down to the 69s. You've gone to the 52s, and just going off the numbers. I mean, Carlene is amazing as a 76, but she needs to break a total that she set. You know, she needs to supersede herself. Sunita, Brittany Slater, they both pushed ridiculously hard IPF worlds, you know, so that's a tall order to ask for. And then down in the 52, Tiffany Chapon is Tiffany Chapon. She's fighting herself 24/7. The woman is a one-on-one woman. So there's basically you and there's Agatha. So what do you think about, do you think you have made this movement of cutting down a weight class? And are we going to see more women start to cut down to become more competitive, you know?
I don't know if it's something that I want to be associated with because it's like, it's really not the kind of thing that I promote, you know, like with my own coaching clients, I don't really ever encourage them to cut a whole bunch down to a lower weight class. I'm always like, get bigger, get stronger, lift more. So it's so like bizarre to me that that's the thing I've become associated with. But of course, you know, like at this level, we can understand why those kinds of sacrifices make sense to do. I think anyone else who's like considering it at more of like a local level or even a national level, I think you need to really, really like interrogate that hard and be like, is this really worth it? Like, all of the changes that I have to make in my life in order to maintain this, do I want that for, you know, the win or to be a little bit more competitive? In terms of Agatha, I watched her Road to Sheffield video last night and I was like, I felt honored, to be honest, because she referenced me and I thought, man, that's a crazy thing to like influence someone in that way, when Agatha is like such a champ as it is. Like she knows how to win things, right? She has no problem with that. So it's, yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how she goes. And I am like, I'm backing her as well.
That's interesting. You saying that backing Agatha on name when
That's
you
a
know
that's a £30,000 backing right there.
£30,000 when you know there's some heavyweights out there that she's gonna be going up against, and yourself, you're going out against Naomi, someone that you walked through in Malta.
This
So,
is the
By the
worst
time-
podcast to come on and say something. I swear to God, because this is going to be there forever now.
By the time it gets to Naomi, it'll be like 10 different versions.
You know what, though? I'm
I'm
really glad you added that clarification with regards to weight cutting, though, because if you have half a brain cell, you understand that cut at that level is acceptable and understandable, and like you shouldn't be doing massive cuts for like regional meets and stuff. But I think it's important that we say that as well, and I'm glad you did, because like I think a lot of people struggle with the whole weight cut stuff. I took the piss out of Mo until he joined 120s. Didn't stop his cramps, but he's done it. Like I think people
cramped
just
today
need
even.
to. But if you said to someone, you have to cut 6 kg and there's a possibility of you winning Sheffield, there isn't a single person that wouldn't do it. And you've set that trend at an elite level, which I think is fucking fantastic. Because coming into this Sheffield now, the single question that everyone's got is who's going into what cat, who's changing categories, who's changing weight classes. Like everybody wants to know, and it's become the thing to do now, which I think fucking it's great because it adds another dimension to Sheffield for me than rather than just these are the people, these are the nominated totals. Because like the preview shows previously have been like, this is the people on this weight cat who's going to win. This person has a higher total, most likely going to win. Whereas that's thrown out the window for Sheffield now.
yeah, I mean,
But
Yeah.
one thing I want to say is I want to see you do this. Win by your second deadlift at Sheffield and not come out. That'll be the goatest move. That'll be the ultimate fucking
she comes out for the third deadlift. She goes
just
like
to shake the referee's hands again. Yeah, that's a goat move.
55.
I'd retire. Honestly, you'd have to retire after that because there's nothing you'd ever do that would top that, would it? Winning on openers, maybe. Go on, Evie, do it.
Would you do that though?
Then
If you could do it, would
No.
you do it?
win on openers.
Yeah.
But then it's like, are you even competing? Like you're just
I don't
Well,
know.
that's-
Mo's the
that's
only
your
one here who
fault.
likes to go 1 out of 3 on his
But
dip.
that's what you did in Malta. Why did you come to
Yeah.
Malta if you knew you're gonna have a chill?
I mean, that's true. And I think like some people will argue that, right? Like they're like, you know, like this is no fun to watch. It's no fun to watch someone just like waltz through it and like just yeah, stamp the ticket kind of thing. Like you're not
I
yeah,
think it
you're
is.
not
I'm
I
sorry.
think it is.
But
100%.
for me, that would
Yeah.
be the most fun thing in the fucking world to watch. If someone could just come into a competition at Sheffield Standard and win on their openers, I'd pay. I'd pay to watch it because it's
I
just
suppose
funny.
it shows like it's a lot of self-restraint too, because like you said, like we're powerlifters and we're all about lifting heavy, and like, you know, sometimes even against your own best interests, people will load up things that they shouldn't.
Mo.
Because we
Endurance.
because we want to, you know, we want to have a shot at it. So to like come in and do numbers that are open a weight and then just leave it there, you're like, man,
That's savage.
that's yeah, it's
That's
Yeah.
savage. That's
What
nearly as bad as saying, "Oh, Worlds was easy."
Yeah, pretty much literally like what you're saying there. If exact same thing. So yeah,
I can't wait to upload this to YouTube because the title is just gonna be "Worlds was easy." Evie Corrigan.
yeah. Anyway, going going. I know you talk about cutting weight and things you have to sacrifice to just maintain that. I want to just ask you just a question to talk us through about just a few example of things that you did on the background for you to be able to maintain that, because a lot of people like do not understand how hard it was for you, because people would just think like, oh yeah, you've done it, you went there in Sheffield, you won Sheffield, and then the thing is become almost like a New Zealand trend now. Tim Onagada did it and went to World and came second and beat Taylor Howard. Do you know what I mean? So what the heck is going on in New Zealand? I don't know. Is it the water you're drinking, or is it because you guys are 13 hours behind or ahead?
It's the
I'm not-
rugby culture.
What is it? Is it just your culture?
It's probably the country, to be honest. We're stuck in traffic jams all the fucking time.
They
There's
can walk
nothing
from
to
one
see.
point to
It's
the other.
always raining.
You have to
There's
live
nowhere
with
to go. Whereas, like in New Zealand, you just go out, you enjoy nature, you enjoy yourself. Everything's beautiful. Everyone's nice.
What was it? There was a time Evie posted a picture of winter, and I was like, "What's going on? That looks like
Yeah,
a
do
normal
you know what
day
I
in
mean?
Britain."
That's summer for us. We get that in June, and we're like, "Fuck yeah, oh yeah, brother."
Sorry about that, Evie. Yes. Talk to us for a few examples about things that you had to let go for you to maintain that weight loss.
I
Because I
mean,
know you love chocolate.
I love food. I love snacks, and I still find a way to have like little treats here and there. But I mean, it looks sad. I have to weigh everything out. Like I weigh out a little. Do you know a serving size of most snacks is about 25 grams? So like 25 grams of chocolate is like 4 pieces, like a row, or it's a handful of three of the individually wrapped chocolates, and that's it. Like, which is fine, but there's never really a time for me to indulge in those things anymore, and it means that the rest of the day my meals have to be like 300 calories so that I can allow myself to have that little treat at the end of the day. I guess like, so it's things like that. And it's things like where I work, we often share food together, and that's kind of like, it's a cultural thing. And it's also like, it's a way that we celebrate people's birthdays. We celebrate achievements of the students. And it's me there saying, oh yeah, I can't have that. Or like, having to eat my like pre-weighed food and like say no to, you know, joining in with them with that. And yeah, I think like it's social things like that, other social engagements with my friends. I'm like, yeah, I've got 2 meals a week, so like we can do we can go out for, it has to fit into those. You cannot invite me out another time or I won't be able to eat, and then I'll just be angry because I'll be hungry. So, you know, I have so much love and appreciation for my friends because they've had to really put up with, particularly like more recently, because it was harder this time around. In the past couple of months, it got harder to stay this low or to get back down to where I needed to be. Because I guess my body was like, don't do that. So my friends have had to put up with a grumpy, hungry, tired Evie. And that's like, it's not fun to be that person. Like you don't want to snap at people, but like you just don't have like the mental bandwidth. So you end up sometimes like not being the best version of yourself, and that just like feels stink. But yeah, so it's that. Yeah.
Well,
And
I
because
that's
don't know how
all
you
the
do it.
time.
I don't know how you
I've
do it.
got
I cut
I've
once
got
in my
one quick
life.
question though. You know, you've had Kedrick come home to your team to help you lose the weight, to maintain the weight to a lower level you want to be at. Right? We've got Jurins here who had to get Kedrick on his team to make him eat food. Right. So how does that make you feel?
Hurt.
yeah,
Sad.
Kendrick literally like every day you need to message it. Have you eaten? Go and eat. Go and have some more fat. You didn't have enough enough carbs today. More carbs tomorrow. But yeah, it's been brilliant. Again, Evie, you spoke about how difficult it is, especially to maintain the body weight and all of that stuff. All of that in the point for you to go to Sheffield and did what you did, right? So my question to you is, I know a lot of people have asked you this question in terms of your Sheffield experience. I know I'd listened to KOTL, you were talking about when you came out, when you saw everybody screaming your name, you just went out, what the fuck is this going on? What the hell is going on here? Right? That's the experience you had. So in terms of like people that were watching at home that were willing to come and watch
Oh,
Chef face to face, but they're not too sure, what message are you sending them through the experiences that you had last year?
sorry, I lost you there for a second. Can you just repeat that last part?
And in terms of like people at home thinking, shall I buy a ticket for next year or shall I not buy a ticket? What message are you sending to these people, considering that you was there last year and what you've experienced?
It's like another level of an event. Like it's unlike any powerlifting competition I think you've ever been to. I don't even think it's like a powerlifting competition. So yeah, and it's like all of the best performances that you want to see in one place in a few hours. Like I think it's packaged in such a way that it's everything that you could want. Like it's the best like powerlifting performance you're going to get. And it's lights and smoke machines and music and announcers and glow sticks and like yeah, it's the like rock concert of powerlifting.
So would you say just this Sheffield event itself has put powerlifting in a place where we can sit here and consider ourselves a sport? I'm not saying we're not a sport, but many people do not view our whatever we do as a hobby or whatever. Many people view as a sport. Some even especially like when I work, my boss understands the sport I do because he loves it. But anyone else powerlifting, they go like, "What the fuck is that?" You took a squat, bench, deadlift. I was like, "That's not a sport." So
yeah, your sport is gym. I think that I think we've always been a sport, but I think what it does is makes it so much more accessible to people who don't do the sport. So you can now watch it and get behind it and get excited by it. And I guess also like get drawn into the narratives as well, and like the battles, and that makes it so much more exciting. That makes it more of a spectator sport. Like it's not just watching people lift things. There's this production quality to it that makes it so much more exciting, and draws people in. And I think that's really good for the sport in the sense that like it's just getting a whole bunch of people more interested, who weren't a part of it before, who never would have watched it before.
You know, to be honest, it's funny you say that because I know this is a powerlifting podcast. And people are going to hate me for saying this. And Mo's probably going to disown me as a friend. But I hated watching powerlifting. Like, it's going to sound really bad, but I was like, I'm going to watch my weight class, the heavyweight men's. I'm going to watch the squats. I'm going to make some tea for the bench because I'm shit. And I'm going to watch deadlift. And that's it. But like, Sheffield was a completely different ball game because to be honest, the women's was more engaging for me than the men's because it came first, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is what's going on!" Like world record, world record, world record, world record. The music, like you said, everything else. I think, even if you're not a fan of watching powerlifting, you'd go out your way to watch Sheffield. Like it's ridiculous, and I like
it's
that.
like
It's not
the gateway.
Yeah, yeah. I think
and I agree with that. So many people who don't even follow powerlifting watched it and they were like, yeah, I was really engaged, it was really captivating. So that's like, and to be honest, I'm in the same boat as you. I don't really love watching powerlifting. I would also just watch my weight class. But at Worlds, I think they did a really good job this time around with the primetime sessions, and I went to every single one, and so did everyone else apparently, because it was like packed out. So that, it's cool to see that happening.
Yeah,
I just have to say I'm disappointed in all of you because
no,
I watched the Europeans B group just to tell you how much I love watching powerlifting. It was amazing. There was some very good.
You love it so much you didn't even know what Evie's total was.
Well, I knew. Fair enough. History is not my strong point, to be honest.
No, okay, that's fine.
I wasn't good at remembering numbers.
Saying you watch B group, bro. I watch Equipped.
But you had to watch European.
No,
you had to watch European B group because it's the only way you're going to get any international stuff this year. Just through YouTube.
Anyway, never mind.
You know what? That's your.
Don't bite. It's fine. Everything's okay.
The real measure is who's watching bench only.
No, that's a stretch. That's not even a sport. You're just watching people lie down.
You're pushing it, Evie. No,
come on. I don't even watch benches.
To be honest,
maybe I should. Maybe my bench would go.
I watched Joe Whitley at Equipped, and I think one of her bench competitions. That's the only bench thing I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah. I'd watch someone like Tony, because like someone putting 250 kg above their face, I'm like, okay, fair enough. Do you know what I mean? That's different, but nah. But Sheffield was like what I actually preferred. I think I was the first person to say the women's Sheffield thing blew me away because it was just so many world records. I was losing my voice.
I watched the women Arnold's last year. I thought nothing would trump that. Literally,
Oh, Miles.
nothing would trump that. But when I watched because Sheffield, again, Evie, I think this is a question to you. When the ladies came out of Sheffield, people that were watching, especially this is just me personally, I felt like a lot of these ladies were a little bit aggressive with their attempt selection, especially because the world record you have to break world record. Some of these lady came to some of them opening over, some of them being like 5 kilo off that. So would you say, like, because you're the one that was on the platform and more sometime, how would you say in terms of like that aggressivity of everybody came on with, because you're the only one that come in that aggressive, end up winning it. A lot of these ladies came in being really aggressive with their attempts. So what was your thought when all of this was happening? Because I think Tiffany opened not far from the world record.
He took the world record on the second attempt, failed it, and then got in the third.
Most of them won the world record on the second and all of that. So you and Jason at the back, what was you thinking when all of this was happening?
I think that was something that we were kind of banking on happening, right? And like there was a bit of discussion beforehand as well, you know, how is Sheffield going to be different? And a lot of people had predicted that one of the ways it might be different is that people will be more aggressive because there's so much on the line. They're going to take risks. So we kind of thought that was going to happen as well. And that kind of went into our planning, or I guess like we probably would have taken the same approach regardless, to be honest, but like knowing to just bank the kilos, take what's there, build the total so that coming through to third deadlift, I'll pull whatever I needed to pull. You know, we were already taking this massive risk with cutting weight, so we didn't need to take risky attempts as well. It was like, let's just, chip away, slowly add up the kilos, and hopefully we end up in a good position where I'm able to pull a decent amount for the win, which paid off. But
that says a lot though, because you treated it's funny, right? And it's something you don't really need to say, but you need to say is you treated it like a powerlifting meet and therefore won.
But just to mention, boys, though, just to mention, Evie's more of a, I don't know if you call yourself, I think you're more of a total specialist. You got an amazing deadlift at the end, but you're a total specialist. Like, compared to some lifters, if Durance went to Sheffield, for example, which he should have, unfortunately, he messed up there. He would have.
Listen, he's the strongest 83 on the day.
Hold on. Can you correct this? How did I mess up there? I came second at world.
That's cute.
What was your position at world?
No, it's fine. It's we're both still watching Sheffield from the stand, bro. So it's all good.
But
again,
I think so. Example: if Durance went to Sheffield, he will push the squat. You know, if Tony went to Sheffield, Tony's going to Sheffield, he'll push the bench. So you have this luxury, like same as.
And if Mo goes to Sheffield, he'll push the. Oh no, you fucked it up.
I'm tired. It's too late. But I think you're the same as Delaney, where you build the total, and the total is what gets you the money at the end of the day. I had a quick question though, because you know, in the lineup for the women's, yes, last year was exciting. I feel like this year is just insane. There's obviously can you make a return and do Sheffield again? Can you win it again? You know, there's Agatha going to cut down to the 69s. There's Sunita and Brittany with the battle. You know, there's the Agatha, Carola. Is Carola going to go 69? Is she going to go back to 63? Now that Agatha has made the move, you know. So there's so many storylines. Which one do you find interesting? I know you don't want to follow too many lifters because it can stress you out. But is there any lifter that you're looking at going to Sheffield thinking, I want to see what happens? You know, this is something I'm invested in right now.
Yeah, firstly, I'll just say like about what you're saying about being a total specialist. I think you really hit the nail on the head, because maybe if I'd been within striking distance of like the squat world record or the bench world record, you know, I might have like been a bit more aggressive to try and get that. But it's sort of not being close to those kind of helped me, because we just made very sensible choices. Yeah, and then I didn't try to push for something that maybe wasn't there. So it's a good observation. Yeah, in terms of my competitors, I'm really interested to see what happens in the 69s. Yeah, I think Carola will stay because she's already been quite clear that she wants to have that battle with Leah. So it's just going to be super interesting to see what happens between the three of them. I'm interested to see Natalie and Jard go head to head again. You know, that was pretty close at Worlds. I think it'll be pretty close again. Yeah, this is all from...
That battle all depend if the French got their shit right. If they end up doing what they did in the Malta, it's not going to be pretty close. Carry on.
Yeah, I do agree with that. They really, yeah. I don't want to throw any shade, but
This is a safe place.
She writes off the whole competition, says everything's easy, and then goes, I don't want to throw any shade. Anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah, I feel like I've mentioned almost everyone at this point, but I loved watching the 84 plus women at Worlds. I think that was probably the best session. So that's super exciting as well.
I think
to see.
Talking about the 84, I'll throw this to you because I asked Britain this week. Bonica actions on the platform as a woman, as an athlete.
Drama roll. When
you saw it, what was your thoughts about it?
I was just like...
Be honest, it's a safe place.
Fuck off, Drew.
A safe place with the rest of the internet listening. Yeah. I mean, I think I was more confused by it. I was like, what are you doing? Like, it's not appropriate behavior. And then someone, I can't even remember who I was standing next to, but they showed me like her story that she'd like just posted prior to going out for the medal ceremony about like, do you know if you have to do it? And I was like, come on, man, like that's not what it's about. Like you have to be a good sports person. Like, yeah.
By the way, that someone was, by the way. Anyway, let's move on. That someone was me literally saying, I said, look what she just posted now.
Going off like Sheffield, are there individual records you're chasing for this time as well? Or are you just after that walk in the park, big total win, GG, I've made my money, I'm going now?
I mean, I would really like to take the deadlift record back, but that will be sort of a secondary goal to the placing. And I think we should be able to pick up the deadlift record, as we go, because I want 210.
If you've won, for example, or you're on your second, you need 207, 208 to win.
209 actually, because I think the record is still 8.5.
No, the record is
still... If you need 205 to win, then would you load 210 or 209?
That's a hard question. You know that I don't have any, like, during the competition, I don't have any input on the attempt selection. I just let Jason put the numbers in.
Jason is not trying to mess up his 5,000
Jason.
bag.
But
Jason is like, you keep quiet, I'll handle my money.
Yeah. What would you do? Would you want to?
I would want 208.5, but I think Jason would load what we needed.
Extra 5k though. For 3 kg.
But it depends on the placings,
5k
right?
for 3 kg.
So you have to, like, if it was the risk of going from first to second place or second to third or even off the podium, not worth it.
If it didn't change the podium, if it didn't change your positioning.
Like if I was going to get...
If you don't get it, you still are where you are. But if you get it,
then,
you still are. Then
if it doesn't change the placing, then yeah, we would load it, I reckon.
But the thing is, by the way,
208.5.
Correction, Mo. The record is still 203.5.
Why is that though? Are they not taking?
It probably just hasn't been updated.
Yeah, it
Because
should
the
be 208.
competition was really recent.
Because the
Yeah.
record is held by Farid Farhana.
Bahana.
They haven't even updated her open powerlifting yet, so I think the results haven't been updated yet.
All
Have
right.
they not?
Yeah,
No.
she broke it on her second, and then she went
pulled more.
208 on her
Yeah.
third, and it looked
That makes
You could have
very
just emailed
smooth.
her. You could have just messaged her like, "Can you not do this? Like, I will send you £1,000."
Yeah.
So basically,
I was like, come on.
so basically broken motor and broke again at the Asian Championship.
Yeah, broke it twice
Yeah.
in Asian Championships.
Wow, that's impressive. That's impressive. So, I mean, Evie, that shouldn't be a problem since you're walking through meet like what you did in Malta. Everything was easy, walk in the park. Following to what Indy just said there.
I bet you wish you never said that.
I know.
He's just not going to let it go, is he? It's like a dog with a bone.
I see you in Sheffield, I will remind you that, especially in Sheffield, when you win, I was like, Evie, another story again. You just walk in the park, pissing people off. Anyway. So in terms of like your competitors, because Sheffield is a numbers, is a world record, and of course, competition in terms of winning the bag. And I mentioned already, what you told to the national, if you hit down the platform in Sheffield, everybody else might just come in and get a SPD Wala media package and go home, literally. Talking about it, what numbers do you think your competitors will be hitting? What I mean competitors, let's just talk about direct competitor Naomi, right? Naomi is someone that has not beaten you, even on your hard day or even in your easy day of RPE 8. Still, she has not beaten you. What number do you think Naomi will be hitting at Sheffield?
I mean, I don't follow her training at all, so I have no idea what she's been doing recently. I mean, she's still a strong competitor. I don't think she had the best day at Worlds. So there's definitely like, we're not going to count her out because that would be unwise. She and like you said before, she is fierce. Like, she is aggressive. She will fight till the bitter end. So that's definitely someone to contend with. But I have no idea what she's capable of lifting.
I mean, I like your approach though. I'll be honest with you. I'm the same as you. I don't like to see what other people are doing. It just like has no impact on my training, sort of thing. If anything, it throws you off, doesn't it? So I'm with that. I'm different to these boys because Mo likes to know what everyone in every weight cat's doing, and Durance
I
likes
just
to know
enjoy
what his
watching
friends are doing.
powerlifting. It's not. Unfortunately, I watch everyone, so it's not. I don't stress.
With me,
You stress.
No, I don't.
With me, it's not so much about knowing what my competitors are doing, because even if I know, it doesn't change my thoughts or my training.
Yeah, true. You're still going to hit 300 kg 3 times a week.
It does, and I mean, no, that's what my coach prescribe, and I do that. Do you know what I mean? I'm a lifter that follow what the coach says. I'm not like other people that don't follow their coach's instructions, right?
Who? Say names, bro.
I don't want to name him here, but anyway, what I'm saying.
You on about Mo?
Anyway, even talking about the fact that when you said you don't follow your competitors, what they're doing, especially by Naomi and all of that. She's a fierce competitor, but in Malta she was fierce, but you went RPA. So that just to tell anything about you. So anyway, moving on. So what about the other ladies on the weight class? You mentioned Agatha there being potentially one of the threats into winning the big bag of Sheffield. Any specific number in your head you think Agatha will be hitting? By the way, the world record at that weight class at 69 is 549 kilos, which is probably, I could say, the easiest and the weakest world record out of all of them, including your world record, because what you did in Malta makes your world record weak as fuck, because you're going to slam.
Can you just let the lady enjoy her success?
I know, man. What are you doing?
Make her feel bad about being strong.
Yeah, fucking. Do you know what I mean? You can't even be strong around here anymore with Durance. Fuck's sake.
Because I'm weak. So, what do you think about Agatha numbers will be potentially in Sheffield?
Yeah, well, I mean, I saw that she said that she wants 600, but I think that would be
ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that what's more likely is maybe like 580, or even if she went like 570, right? Like that's still a really decent amount.
But
It's so hard to say when you don't know where she's sitting right now.
Well, she hit 555 at 71 kg.
But
That's
that
close,
and
yeah.
and it was RPE Evie Corrigan on all the lifts. So
from
she's
now on,
looking strong.
I will be literally tagging you all my lifts. If I do an RP7 instead of RP Evie, no more RP Christian.
Yeah, we can't say it to Christian anymore because he actually he didn't struggle, but he went past an 8. So it's Evie Corrigan hashtag now. Unfortunately, everyone, if you hit any RPE 8s, hashtag Evie Corrigan.
Evie Corrigan. Hashtag Evie Corrigan, guys.
We're gonna make this go viral.
You mentioned 5'7" today, Evie. But I had Leah on the podcast that will be dropping very, very soon, probably next week. I mean, Leah said, I'm putting Agatha about 580, 585. But Agatha will need more than that to beat me.
Oh shit, that's a big statement.
That's a
big statement.
Spicy.
That's a big statement.
So you're basically what she said, your 580, your 575, is 585 would not beat me. So if they already
Wow.
said that means it's spicy. So that means we're talking about breaking the world record about more than 40, 50 kilos. So Evie, your 484, that would be 24 kilo on the world record.
5% plus already.
That's not 50 kilo. So Evie.
Yeah.
It's percentages, isn't it?
It's percentages, not.
You
It's
sausage.
not like,
You're meant to be a guy who works with numbers, and you don't know percentages.
Hold on.
You know what?
This
I
guy
actually
is
worry for the investment
Can you
accounts
imagine coming to Durin for your account, and he's like, "You're basically bankrupt because you only have £1 million in your fucking account."
Guys, that's what they do. They don't follow to the point. They just slam. Anyway, 50 kilos on a world record as a 69. What percentage is that? You guys that know maths better
It'll
than
be huge. So 580 already gives you 5.6%. So you're talking about 6%, 7%. I think that's insane. I genuinely think
That
that's
is insane.
Like, Wada should be flying through the doors at that point.
But that's statements on a podcast. You know, I'm not saying it's not going to happen or it is going to happen, but like, do you know what I mean? That's something that's said, but on the day, you're going to be looking at your competitors. You know, you're going to be taking what's there. Things are different. The standards are different. So take it with a pinch of salt.
But yeah, but people.
If someone gets there, that would be incredible, because I feel like what we expect the trend to be with Sheffield is that over time, the world records get broken by smaller and smaller percentages because it just gets too hard to break them by that much. So if we go from last year where, 5%, got me a win, and then this year to win, you need 7%, you're like, what is happening here?
That's what Mo said. Why do they need to go to their house and spend some time there? So, I mean, so in terms of like going back to my...
It's funny though you say why that, because Evie said the trend at Sheffield. Just catching her out here. We know the real
trend at Sheffield. Anyway, before these boys slammed me with my job, in terms of like the percentage we spoke about here, they are coming in saying 580, 585 won't beat me. So it means I'm putting Leah at like 590 or 590 plus. So what are we expecting Evie Corrigan to put up for her to be able to win? Because you need more than 560. Even though you walked in Malta with RPE 7, 560, not even wanting to lift, that was probably your easiest day. What are we thinking about how now in Sheffield? Would you be able to push in Sheffield at least, please? Would you push?
Yeah, I mean, if it's warranted, but I think that the goal for us is like something for 480, something in the 480s. To hit what I hit at nationals would be cool. And we'll just see what happens. I'm not going to make any massive promises, because I think that comes back to bite you in the butt a bit. But
yeah, there you go. That's more like it. See, this is what I mean. Because the thing is, right, you can say, yeah, this person's gonna need this much to beat me, but you don't know what's gonna be there on the day. And if you keep like, if you try and have your own like goals based on what others are gonna hit, it just ruins everything.
I think about 5% is again like that's what we're aiming for. If I could beat it by 5% again, that would be ace.
I mean, sometimes like
Me, Durans, and Mo just want a 5% PB, and you want 5% of the world record total. Thanks. Cheers, Evie. Thank you.
I mean,
Anyway, what sport are we doing next, boys?
Lacrosse.
I mean,
Do you know what I mean? You two couldn't even do lacrosse with your fucking gammy knees.
Well, I could do lacrosse. All you literally need to do for lacrosse is just run at people and hit them out of the way.
Can you run?
Yes, I can actually. I've got a good 100 meters.
But you have to catch things as well and throw things.
Good point.
And it's bending over, you know, like in old people struggle to do all that stuff.
I need to go back playing rugby. But anyway, going back to
You played rugby. You did not play rugby.
He didn't play rugby.
No, you didn't play rugby. You played football. What position in rugby?
I was flying.
Second in charge of water bottles. two IC of water bottles. Durance Kingamu.
Anyway, going back to it, like in context for people that are listening, 5% in a world record is a big number, right? Especially when you go year to year. You know, even like a normal lifter to add 5% on your total, you know, within that calendar year is a lot. It's a lot, you know. But you, after what you did in Malta, nothing's impossible, especially walking in Malta via RP 7 or 6 or 5 RP Evie Corrigan. So that 5%, it's just like, it is what it is. So what message are you sending to the rest of the field going to Sheffield? Because again, Sheffield, you're not going up against Naomi alone. You're going up about all these women we spoke about, the 84 plus and the 69, 76 and so on. So what is the message are you sending them? Because everybody who's coming to Sheffield are fearing and they're scared of Evie Corrigan. Whether they're not talking about it, whether they're not saying it, I've heard some people already asking SBD to change the formula. But anyway, I'm not going to name names.
Give me all those people, James. I swear to God. I feel like it's you just talking to yourself.
Durance lost the plot. Mo, you know how much 5%? You know how much you'd have to add for 5% of your 900?
Oh, it's a lot. It's
bro,
insane.
45 kg, you know.
It's insane.
It's
like to sit down and say you're going to break the record by 5% and then break it by another 5% next year. You know, it's like, you know, just, I don't know. Like my CV is basically, I break world records. High.
Evie's just mentioning interest rates now and breaking records by, you know what I mean? Just fucking, she's like, right, 5% APR. That's you. Fucking get at me.
Indy, since Evie gonna have to answer this, start doing what's Jesus 5% on his world record have to be.
What did he hit? What's his world record?
The world Jesus. That's 1140. Is it 1145? Or yes. That's 1152.
1145 is his total.
No, 1152 is the world record.
1152 is the world record.
Yeah. So, Evie, let's go for your question in terms of the message you have to all the Sheffield ladies coming in. Because they're all coming for you. Whether you like it or not, they are coming for you. They want your head on the silver platter. So what message are you sending them?
58 kg, that is.
Yeah, he's fucked. This way.
I'm friendly. I'm not scary. It's like laughable to me to think that anyone would be like intimidated by me or but I don't know. I guess I'm not super competitive. Like obviously I want to win, but I also want all of those women to do really well as well. And like I'm a big fan of all of those athletes and like I want to watch them and I want to see them succeed and I want to see them put on awesome performances, like even though that maybe means that I won't place as highly, but I don't know. I genuinely don't feel like any animosity or anything towards people. Like I'm just excited to be part of it and I'm excited to be in Sheffield with them and hopefully I make more friends this time because last time nobody knew who I was. So that will be nice.
You know,
walk
there's
into
not part of
Poundland.
you think, woo, go girls, 4%, stay 4%, woo. Yeah.
Maybe I'm like too focused on myself. Like I'm
Yeah,
just like
best
not.
way to be.
I'm just
You
like
don't want to be
I'm
like
just gonna
Jurian.
do the. I'm just gonna do the best that I can do, and like I'm happy to see them do the best that they can do as well, and like we'll just see where the chips fall.
I guarantee you're not going to make more friends when you win again for the second time. It's not happen.
I feel like all you need to do is just wait outside the doors. You see Evie at some point going to Poundland, so eventually
You're just gonna have more.
Just-
You're gonna have more people
just-
on their status, right? Do I have to go to the medal ceremony? She's beat me again.
Then
Too
you
soon? Oh, never mind.
go to World Passport 2024 like you did last year. I really believe if you push Sheffield, you win. Next year, World 460 will win again. Will win the World Championship again.
I think people will just start going to different weight cats.
How are you
You
gonna, during all this, how are you gonna do the podcast with Naomi? Because I feel like it's just gonna be during like, I know. Have you heard what Evie said? Like.
Oh, I can't wait for
Evie
that.
is like, no, you know what Durance is like? He adds his little bit of on top. Like Evie said, she's gonna break 600. What do you think about this? She said you're a.
You said you were
Once
an
again,
RP7
lost
day.
in translation.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna say, Evie said, try best in Malta, and she beat you, and she hasn't even beaten her best. Anyway, so wait for her best is coming. So yeah, last few questions for me. Like probably I got two last one to go, Evie. The first one is the package you won in Sheffield, which is the bigger check you won. What change has that money has done to you so far in terms of like in your life? Has it brought in some long-term goals closer? Have you helped Jason to pay for his flights and hotel?
Would you pay for Mo's car? He's still fucking foot patrol.
You know what? I enjoy the steps. It's
It's
nice.
a big money. In powerlifting, we don't hear about this type of money. So when people win it, it's almost like, what has she done with this? Has she just given that money to
You can tell him to fuck off because it's your finances.
Shut up.
What?
I
I'm
honestly,
just
I
saying.
don't have an exciting answer because I genuinely did. I just put it in a term deposit, so it's locked away for a year. So, it's still in there, and I'm trying to work out what to do with it.
Did
I don't
you get
really
a
want
good
to.
interest rate with it.
Basically,
I
what she
think it
did
was
was
pretty
she bought
good.
£10,000 worth of Whitakers. Because that's what I'd do. I'd eat. It'd be gone in a day.
I'll bring some more for you, indeed.
That shit was bagging. I owe you some Monty Bojangles. That's what I owe you.
I got 30 kilos of baggage, and it's going to be 10 kilos of chocolate.
Oh man, honestly, I'd do it as well.
I mean, Indy's not coming to Sheffield anyway, so you just give it to
I
me.
am. Don't worry.
You are now. Oh, great, fantastic. I hope your back doesn't break. Anyway,
New car. I'll be
yeah.
driving nice. Mo's walking.
It's not a long walk.
Mo
It's
walk.
not a long
Did
walk.
you hear about Mo last Sheffield? Did you hear? Did you know what this sausage did? He had loads of baggage, comes to the train station, and there's a car there available to pick you up and take you to the hotel. This fucking plum sack walked with all his baggage, and then he was wondering why he was cramping on stage.
And that car.
We walked as well. I didn't realize
well,
there was a
Hey,
car.
Vay, you're not meant to be on. You're not meant to be on Mo's side.
Well, this is the first I heard about a car. I thought we were just supposed to walk.
Hold on, what about this Range Rover? The Range
There was
Rover.
a rain.
Right.
There was a
This
Range
year,
Rover at the hotel.
Did
Not at the-
you've
not at the
earned money
train.
at Sheffield?
It was
This
at the
year, you're
hotel.
gonna order yourself a taxi.
It's really close to the train station, though.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, Evie.
It's all uphill though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Just
Yeah,
like
it's all
Mo's
uphill.
powerlifting career.
it's all right. Didn't harm me.
Moving on.
It harmed Mo.
My last.
Sorry, Mo. Espin isn't here. Someone's got to get it. We can't give
Why
it to
not do
Evie.
Duran's
There's
with
nothing
his
we can
top-
say to Evie. Ha ha ha! You won
My-
world.
my
What are you gonna
last-
do? It's fucking it's a joke.
My
Oh,
last
days.
question to you, Evie. I know we don't talk about squat when it comes to you. We can't talk about squat. even though you can score, but we can't talk about it. So in terms of like, of course, you've been the across the board the 52s, and then most of these 52s have been pushing so hard, especially what you've done in Sheffield, right? Full 60 is just ridiculous. And then you went to Malta, as I mentioned, I keep on mentioning for the millionth time here. You walk through full 60, something that people are literally killing themselves for, but you just walk through it. So what would you say in terms of like, how do you feel about you having that massive influence on your weight cut? Because until you challenge Naomi, I'm sorry to say this, but no one cares about the 52 because people knew Naomi.
Mo cared about the 52, but you put it on the map.
Yeah, you put it on the map, and people knew Naomi would dominate. I'm not saying Naomi is not. Naomi is one of the best lifter we ever had in IPF, and she'll probably go down as a Hall of Famer when she retire. That's how good she is. But the thing is, like, you come in, you've given Naomi that competition that was lacking in that 52s. So yourself, and my question is like, how do you feel about that in terms of like being almost that driving force to put that weight class into the map? Mo tried that with like putting the 391 at Sheffield to put the 105 on the map, but he couldn't. So how do you feel about it?
I think that like it's good for the sport, right? Like, and I think that that's one of the cool parts about Sheffield is that the way that ranking is structured, like it encourages people to target those weaker records. And so now we've got 369s all going for that weaker world record. And like I dropped down to 52s because that was a weaker world record. So it almost attracts people to the weight classes that were previously not very populated, which is good for the sport because it's encouraging competition in those weight classes. So I think like that's a super cool part about using that kind of system. And I think that most of my competitors are grateful for that. Maybe like people who are in the 52s are excited to see so much action happening in the weight class. I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking for them. Maybe they all wish I would go away.
It'd make their life easier.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to get to a point where you won't be able to do that. There's not going to be a weaker world record total. And I think Sheffield will be a driving force behind all world record totals just being the elite, the top 0.00001% who have hit that, and then everyone else is just you can watch from afar.
Yeah, well, I think the men's is kind of a bit more like that, right? Like it's already so competitive. There isn't really like weaker world records. But the women's is still
So the 83
it's still
one's
very
a bit-
exciting.
Indy?
Huh? Sorry, mate, you broke up.
No, I saw you spoke about 83. Russia's coming in to make it like 925. What are you talking about? And
I mean, to be honest with you, you were beaten
Question
by
one
74,
is depth. Anyway, moving on.
Anyway, carry on, Evie.
Evie, answer the question, bro.
You know, in this podcast, by the way, in this podcast, I just want to clarify this. We don't hate the Americans. We just hate the standards they lift on. That's it. That's all.
That's Jurin saying it. I'm saying nothing.
Anyway.
Yeah, me too.
I
I'm
mean,
not saying anything.
sometimes you gotta call people out so that they can grow.
Yeah, I called Mo out. He's now a 120.
You said
Case in point.
He lost, but he's a 120.
you should have called
Literal
people.
growth.
Oh my God.
Basically, what
I'm tired.
Translation. What Evie's saying, you should call people out so they can grow. That's why you did what you did in Malta, just to push your competitors to grow.
True. You could look at it that way. She's like, yeah, this was easy. Get better totals, boys.
Anyway, boys.
You know what, right? I love the fact that Sheffield has created a competition or a stage where we can look at world records and say there's a weaker world record. You know, that was not a term anyone ever thought made any sense before 2022. Like
the literal best performance that someone has ever done in this weight class. Like could be more though.
That is nice to have a fellow world record holder here, though. For once.
What?
Instead of chatting to these fucking waffling sausages on my screen, fucking both of them have tried.
Evie, I've got
Hold
one
on, hold on. I've
I'm-
never tried any world record. I've never.
I
You
don't think
wanted
you should
to.
be proud of that, Jules. I don't know if that's something to be proud of.
No,
He's like, I'm not weak, I'm shit.
no, I know I'm good, and I've never tried any world record. So don't put me there in the please.
I really like these Sheffield series because I get to speak to fellow world record holders. It's really nice having conversations.
I had one last question for you, Evie.
Don't worry, Evie. Maybe you might not see him award next year.
I know you're a massive foodie. I know you like powerlifting for the community. You're not necessarily more. You've said yourself, you're not a competitive person. You enjoy the community that comes with powerlifting, right? So my question is very simple. I know you're going to come. You're going to dominate. You're going to have fun like you do. So my question is, what food, what snack are you looking to enjoy when you're back in Britain? You know, they've not got a lot here, but what did you enjoy? What are you looking forward to coming back to?
Ooh, that's like, it's hard to narrow it down, but I think the UK does a really good job of like little, like the Tunnocks tea cakes and like biscuits and little sweet treats. Like it's so good in the UK. So that's probably, I don't know if I didn't eat out that much.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you travel in the UK?
We went, yeah, we went up to Edinburgh after Sheffield last time. This time I'm planning like a little road trip. I want to do sort of English countryside villages,
Okay.
old stuff. That's my plan.
If you want
If you want food,
forget Manchester. You want to go Bristol.
Bristol.
Okay.
What's in Bristol?
For food, bro. It's the food capital.
Really?
Because you got London, but then you meet people like Durans everywhere, just fucking angry little fuckers.
Yeah.
Like, and it's packed and it's rammed all the time, and like
it also costs a lot of money just to.
It costs a lot of money, whereas Bristol has everything, but without the money needed. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, Bristol might be the go then. I do
really
really
nice
like, because obviously in New Zealand, fish and chips is a really big thing as well, but there's a slightly different to the UK version. And I like that in the UK, you can get like curry sauce with your fish and chips. That's fantastic.
That's just a takeaway for people that are drunk.
Nah,
it's so good.
You need to go to the right places. You can get like
Newcastle.
battered fish and chips here. Their battered fish and chips are nice.
Or like any seaside.
Newcastle is too far.
Mom just wants a friend to walk back with.
I actually asked someone if
he wants a lift.
Newcastle was worth going through, and they were like, nah.
No, it's not. It's not worth going to.
In fact, I think you told me that, Mo. I said, is Newcastle worth a stop? And you said no.
Mo just wants a lift home. Evie, don't listen to him. He wants a free fucking ride.
The thing is that if you win another second Sheffield check, you might just rent a bloody private jet because you know what I mean. Yeah.
You could actually get a decent place in Newcastle. London, you probably need to win at least another 10 Sheffield checks before you can settle there.
So,
You're not exactly selling Newcastle to me, though, to be honest.
Yeah, well, fucking, it's Mo lives there, isn't it? That's what you need to know.
But on that note, boys, I'm gonna close up here. It was a great one, a great chat, Evie, in terms of like everything we shared. We're looking forward to Sheffield, and hopefully you'll be able to push at Sheffield, because if you don't push, those people that will be buying ticket to come and watch you, it's just gonna be like, I should have stayed in Estonia or in Hungary instead of flying to come and watch Evie winning with RPE8 like you did in Malta.
I will buy you one sharing pack of Tunnocks tea cakes for each % you are over the world record.
Please.
That's the greatest motivation.
That's incentive for if you get 20% over, I'm fucking calling it a day.
So yeah, it's been wonderful. So chatting to us and all of this stuff, and covering Sheffield and covering your training. And please post a little bit more. You saying that you have not been hiding your training, I don't believe that shit for once. I don't believe it. So unless I start doing the training every single week, you know, in the UK, people do SBD Friday every single week. Every single Saturday, you see people posting the massive lift, even though they took 3-4 days off after that. But anyway,
Yeah, I've just
YouTube
turned on
legends.
post notifications for you as well, so I want to see some posts.
post more.
And
so we-
also, I think it's worth to give a shout out to Jason here too. I know he's the mastermind behind everything here.
I'm not giving Jason a shout after what Jason did in Malta. He embarrassed me in Malta. I'm not giving him a shout. No way. I'm not doing that in my
You
podcast.
deserved embarrassing. You embarrassed yourself.
Yeah, I know.
I did it.
You can't
I
blame
didn't accept
Jason
the
for
world
your
record.
embarrassment.
No, Jason embarrassed the 80s, the 52s. No, I'm not talking about me, bro.
Oh,
Anyway.
I thought he embarrassed you. I was like, you did that to yourself.
No. Jason didn't embarrass me. Look, about me, right? This is
All right,
about
strongest 83. Calm down.
Christ, we're talking about the only brave apart from Tony Cliff to play second award. So shut up, guys. And on that note, guys, anyone who's listening to us, please likes, send us comment. If you got anything about to Evie, just message Evie and send Evie a DM. If Evie does not reply, please go back to Mo. Mo will chase Evie for you. The reason I said go back is Mo is the only British lifter that's done Sheffield. And she was on the same platform with Evie. She has a different relationship with Evie than me and Indy that never tested that platform.
She, you just calling Mo a she?
Oh shit!
You just
Mo,
called
he looked. But anyway, on that note, guys, speak to you soon.
See you later.
Good.